Welcome to my channel! Learn with Teacher Ali!
Science, Grade 4, Quarter 1, Week 6. Learning objectives. At the end of the lesson, the learner should be able to identify changes in the materials that are useful and harmful to the environment. Based on the previous lesson, different materials are found in the environment. These materials undergo changes which may be beneficial and harmful to the environment. Now, show the fact flaglet if the following statements show useful changes in the materials in the environment, and bluff flaglet if the changes brought in the materials are harmful to the one's environment. Some changes in the materials are useful or harmful to the environment. Changes are harmful if they cause pollution to the water, land, and air. Large forest areas have been carelessly destroyed through deforestation. Deforestation causes the downgrading of our natural environment. This downgrading of our environmental leads to the destruction of wildlife, occurrence of destructive floods, massive soil erosion, incidents of devastating drought, and global warming. Some of the useful changes in materials are as follows: cutting of piece of cloth to be made into handkerchief, cutting of fabric to be made into clothes, cutting and shaping pieces of wood or lumber into chair, changing wood into charcoal for cooking. On the other hand, some of the harmful changes include burning of old tires and other plastic materials or trash, throwing of kerosene and detergents into the sewage, and etc. Now, examine the pictures below and then copy the table in your notebook as shown in this module and identify each material whether it is harmful or useful to the environment. From the activity, what are the materials that are useful and harmful? What are the changes in the materials that are useful to the environment? What made them useful to the environment? And lastly, what are the changes in the materials that are harmful to the environment? And what made them harmful to the environment? Remember that changes in materials have beneficial and harmful effects in the environment. Carefully examine changes in the materials in each statement. Write the letter of your answer in your science notebook. Day 2. At the end of the lesson, the learner should be able to identify the harmful effects of the changes in materials on the environment. Materials that are useful and harmful to one's environment by Eleanor C. Caparos. Some changes in the materials are harmful to the environment. Changes are harmful if they cause pollution to the water, land, and air. Large forest areas have been carelessly destroyed through deforestation. Deforestation causes the downgrading of our natural environment. This downgrading of our environment leads to the destruction of wildlife, occurrence of destructive floods, massive soil erosion, incidents of devastating drought, and global warming. The lesson for today is to identify the harmful effects of the changes in the materials on the environment. When the material is dumped with garbage of any kind such as empty bottles, plastics, toxic waste, chemicals from factories, and others, the soil or land becomes polluted. Polluted land serves as breeding places for flies, cockroaches, and rats. These pests carry germs that causes disease, hence hazardous to one's health. Growing plants is not also possible in polluted land. When the materials is dumped with garbage of any kind such as empty bottles, plastics, waste materials from houses, and other industrial and chemical waste from factories, the river becomes polluted. If we drink water contaminated with germs, we are likely to get sick or diseases. Polluted water also kills living organisms like fish, water plants, and etc. Now, students, analyze the pictures below and answer the following questions. Describe the harmful effects of change in the materials on the environment. Write your answers in your science notebook. Match the pictures in column A to their corresponding effects in column B. Write the letter of the correct answers in your notebook. Day 3. At the end of the lesson, the learner should be able to identify environmental issues and concern in the local community. Select one from the following changes in the materials and describe its harmful effects to the environment. Some changes have bad effects like pollution and destruction of habitat and loss of lives. Improper garbage disposal, harmful chemicals, and human waste can cause changes. It can pollute the air, land, and water. Smoke from the burning of oil, coal, and wood can also cause air pollution. Land pollution can also occur when farmers use too much weed killers and insecticides on their farms. Seas and oceans become polluted when oil from ships spills into the water. We also add to air pollution when we burn fuels. When burned, they give out smoke. Motor cars, buses, and other vehicles give out harmful gases which are invisible. The air becomes polluted. There are too many vehicles on the road. Smoke from factories and power stations can also cause air pollution. forests have been cleared to give way to housing projects. But this could lead to loss of habitat to animals and even loss of lives. It could also lead to soil erosion. The loss of forest and air pollution have led to another threatening situation from our planet, which is global warming. The Earth receives heat from the sun and reflects some of this heat into space. Carbon dioxide and other gases in the air act as blanket to hold onto some of this reflected heat. As a result, the Earth is warm. This is called the greenhouse effect. The cutting down of trees and the burning of fuels increase the amount of gases that cause the greenhouse effect. When this happens, the greenhouse effect increases. The temperature all over the world rises, and this is global warming. With this, the ice at the north and south poles may melt. This will cause sea levels to rise, and so widespread flooding and destruction will occur. Plants and animals that are unable to adapt to the higher temperature will become extinct. Using aerosol hairsprays and insecticides can release CFCs or the chlorofluorocarbons into the air. Even the cutting of a styrofoam can release CFCs. CFCs have been found to be responsible for destroying the ozone layer. The ozone layer prevents too much ultraviolet rays from the sun from reaching the earth. Too much exposure to UV or the ultraviolet rays can harm our eyes and skin. Day 4. At the end of the lesson, the learner should be able to address environmental issues and concerns in the local community by science. With the concepts and ideas learned from the previous lesson on the environmental issues and concerns in the community, give your insight about land pollution, water pollution, and air pollution. The 5 R's of responsible waste management are reuse, reduce, recycle, repair, and rot. Number 1. Reduce. Buy items in refillable containers. Use cloth bag, eco bag, paper bag, or native baskets instead of plastic bag when you buy groceries. And avoid buying disposable items or single-use products such as batteries, razors, utensils, plates, cups, etc. Number 2. Reuse. Donate or sell reusable items. Use both sides of paper when printing and reuse as scratch paper, gift wrapper, and etc. And lastly, consider the potential lifespan or durability when buying new products. Buy durable food or storage containers and reuse them instead of using foil and plastic bags or wrap. Number 3. Recycle. Do not throw away used newspaper or used writing pads. Sell them or bring them to paper mills which can turn them into usable paper again. Used bottles, tin cans, and rubber tiles can be recycled into useful materials. Number 4 is repair. Have appliances, office equipment, lighting fixtures, and automotive parts repaired instead of buying new ones. And have an old furniture reupholstered or refurbished instead of buying new ones. Number 5 is rot. Set up a compost pile to compost your yard trimmings and make a compost pit or bin in the yard for your biodegradable materials such as fruits, vegetables, coffee grinds, and etc. Now, students, for our performance task, collect the common waste you see in school or at home and apply 5 R's to manage waste. Identify the correct ways to be done to prevent or minimize the harmful effects to the environment. Write your answers on the space provided before each number.
Thank you for watching! Also, don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and click the notification bell for you to be updated on our latest videos. See you on our next lesson. Goodbye!